All right, we are back. And while this is a Rational Boomer podcast, this is going to be kind of an extra. We already have a podcast running, and I decided, what the hell? I'm sitting here doing nothing. I thought I'd give it a try. Thought I'd maybe do another live. Now, I could do it on TikTok, but no, I can't do it on TikTok because I'm banned from doing lives on TikTok until November 25th because I got kicked off the last time I did it. Remember, I only went a half hour and then we finished up the podcast some other way. So I thought, well, we can go live on YouTube. I like going live on YouTube. It's a little less intense. It's a lot slower going, though. It really is a lot slower going than TikTok, but there's a vast difference in followers on TikTok and YouTube. We don't run into as many Trumplefucks on YouTube. But even if we do, thankfully we have TJ the plumber out there, and TJ the plumber is kind of a Trumplefuck assassin. He's out there to make sure that the Trumplefucks don't get too out of hand and gets them blocked right away. I try to block some too. So basically, right now we have the live running on YouTube. Got about six people in there. Welcome to the live with Rational Boomer. Um, just full transparency, we're doing the live because I just felt like doing it today. I talked to our moderator, TJ the plumber. He's out there, so we're safe and sound and ready to go. Blair Rose says, "Is this satire?" I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Donetta says, "Hello from Iowa." Hi, Donetta. Hey, Mike. Hope you're doing well. From Tony. Hi from Australia. I love hearing from people all around the world. It's amazing how much interest there is in politics in America from people around the world because we do impact some things. Debbie says hi from Illinois. Um, TJ the plumber says, "I flush the shit all the time." Thank you, TJ. Yeah, some of these Trumple fucks, it's kind of interesting. It was weird that it got so hot and heavy in my last live. It was after the election. I said, what the fuck? You won. What do you want to argue about? You won. Why don't you just go show us what you're going to do and show us all the amazing things that Donald Trump has promised? Get it done, motherfucker. But apparently they want to fight more. And at this point, I don't want to fight because it's of no value. What I'm going to do henceforth is sit back and watch these fucking clowns fail and make fun of them. I'm going to do exactly what the Republicans have been doing to the Trumplafucks for 4 years or 8 years or whatever the fuck it's been. Uh, Lewis says, "Good to see you from Albuquerque." I've been to Albuquerque a long time ago. New Mexico, from Colorado. Hello from Kansas. Please send help. I feel you. I understand what you're saying. Some of these red states are a little problematic for normal folks that happen to live in those states. Matthew says, "I have a serious question. Am I weird for asking?" Okay, Matthew's blocked because he's just a dipshit. He's a troll. Um, and Matthew, I'm not a fan. Um, Cookie says Trump has been quiet. Yeah, he has been kind of quiet. I think he's not loving the fact that Biden has been able to push through so many judges. I think he feels like he's getting beat to the punch there. Raylo Podcast says, "Hey, neighbor from Minnesota." Hey, Raylo Podcast. Not familiar with your podcast. Send me some info. Rationalboomer at gmail.com. Debbie says, "True. I'm in the fascist state of Florida." Yeah, fuck. After this election, Florida is a troubling place. I was just in Florida last week. I had to fly into Jacksonville, then to drive up to Savannah, Georgia. I got the fuck out of Florida as quickly as I could. Extravagant Christian Apparel. Hey, Unc from another family. How's Junie and the family? Oh, Junie's awesome. Junie is one of my favorite human beings. She's my granddaughter. Adorable, funny, a smart ass. She's got all the attributes that I enjoy. Somebody from Oklahoma. We've got some people showing up. We've got 72 people in here, which is a lot to start things out on YouTube. Um, when you go on TikTok, it just goes fucking nuts. You can have thousands of people in there trying to keep up with the questions, trying to keep up with the comments, and it's virtually impossible. The pizza too hot. Hi, how you doing? How's everybody feeling now? You know, afterwards, a lot of people were scared. They were crying. They were upset. They were grieving. And as I told you, that's okay for a day or two. But at some point, we got to get pissed off and start fighting back. And I think people are starting to get to that point. Upstate New York, Alicia Hill said I would move out of the red states. Yeah, I've said that too. You know, the thing is, that's easier said than done because not many people have any place else to go. Maybe they don't have the money. They're locked down with a job and family and stuff. It's a harder choice to make than I think a lot of people believe. Bob says I live in Texas, which is just as bad, if not worse than Florida. Yeah, I'd say Texas and Florida are a couple of the worst. Cookie says you need to fight back. That's fucking right. And you know what? That's good for me because I like being a smartass. I like giving people shit. And if now that's all I have to do between now and the 2026, I'm good with it. Gordon Roberts says, I'm feeling better. Today's podcast with Ed is amazing. Yeah, Ed does an amazing job. See, that's the trick about doing the podcast. Have people that know a lot more than me, then I look good. And Ed's a very bright guy and he knows a lot of stuff. Debbie says, you're my number one go to for a good dose of hope. Well, thank you. Uh, JB says, will President Biden be appointing any Supreme Court justices? Not unless one retires. So I doubt that. Deb says, I had it out with two women today. You can't break through. They have crazy conspiracies on the brain. Yeah, there's really no point in arguing with them, especially at this point. You may want to point out why they might have troubles with this. I'm not gonna argue with them. I'm just gonna laugh at them every time they fail, which will be daily. I'm going to laugh at them when they start getting pinched in the ass from all these Trump stupid ideas. Green Jules says, if you stay hateful, your body will become sick. You must release. Hold on. You must release the hate. Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't do any good to stay hateful. I mean, you got stupid people that will have fucked around and will be finding out. Jacqueline says, devastated. I wrote 1,800 postcards to swing states. I worked my ass off. Yeah, Jacqueline, a lot of people did. I know Old Soul, who comes on the show a lot. She traveled around the country and was knocking on doors. A lot of people put in a lot of time and effort. And I feel your pain. I'm just as disappointed as you are. And I must say thank you so much for the effort you put in. That's above and beyond, and you should be acknowledged for that. Will he be on your podcast soon? Yeah, Will be on soon. Will calls me, contacts me once a week and says, "Can I come on again?" Sure, Will. What the fuck? I mean, when I have Will on, it's like I'm on vacation. I just say, "Hey, Will, how's it going?" and sit back and wait. Sun Shui says, this was a rebuke by the majority. That's why you lost everything. Uh, don't even know what you're trying to say, but you've gone. I can tell you're a Trump humper. And I have a rule no Trump humpers allowed. There's no point in you coming arguing with us. And at this point, the only thing we can do is try to rally people of a like mind because as a group of people, we are stronger, we are louder, and that's what we need to be henceforth. AJ Vintage, I'm looking forward to loudly calling out all bigots. Yeah. Analytical Iowan. That is Eric. You've heard him on the show recently. The MAGA don't understand how much work and have no interest in learning. Yeah. Learning is not their strong point. Education is not their strong point. Aaron says, never seen the channel, just popped up in my feed. I read Rational Boomer and thought, must be non Trump if they use the word rational. Was not wrong. No, they're right. It is kind of an oxymoron, a rational boomer. Now, I'm a young boomer, but I know plenty of boomers, and I know how silly that sounds. Imagine walking down the street with a face like this and people not knowing who you are and thinking, oh, there's a Trump pumping racist man, motherfucker. And then when they get a chance to talk to me, they kind of tilt their heads like a dog and going, what the fuck? This isn't what I expected. Elliot James says most conspiracies are right. Well, I don't know. Gordon Roberts says Will is a beauty. Yeah, he's a pistol, all right. I enjoy having him on the show. He's a great guy, a respectful guy, but he gets fired up. He does get pretty fired up. Deb says, one lady I argued with said she didn't vote. I said, you're part of the problem why we lost. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do not whine about the problems you're going to incur now because you didn't bother to get off your ass and vote. Debbie says, one of my best friends is a Trumper. I love her, but can't get an ounce of common sense through. Well, I respect you, Debbie, for holding on to that friend in spite of how she voted. I don't know that I'm that forgiving. Um, See, the thing is, if it was just about politics, that would be one thing, but it's really not. It's about ideology, it's about morality, it's about what's happening to this country and what's going to happen to this country. Now, I'm an old man. I'm 64 years old. I don't know how much time I have. I'm not worried about me. I'll be fine no matter what, but I am very concerned about my kids and my grandkids. You fuck with my kids and my grandkids, now you're going to be in for a fight. Yeah, I'm an old man. Uh, I'm not as strong as I once was. I'm not as fast. I don't have as much energy as had ever had, but I'm just as mean. And sometimes brains and vindictiveness and mean is dangerous. Um, you can agree to disagree. I can't even do that. I will talk to Trump and I say, why can't you just see our side? Why can't we compromise on this? I said, because it's very simple. The difference between you and I is the difference between right and wrong. If I'm right and you're wrong, or vice versa, how can you compromise with what I'm telling you or what you're telling me? If I know what's right, if I know that giving women their autonomy of their body and you don't want to do that, what's the compromise there? There is no compromise. There's none. Keep banning non-trolls with dissenting opinions. Um, yeah, absolutely. Aaron says, I was thinking today, will be good to record now the reason why people voted for Trump and then follow him up in 4 years, see how it's going. Well, I think in 4 years, some of these people are going to be very angry at Donald Trump. They must have forgot what he was like in his first term, but they're going to suffer some problems with Donald Trump as president. Keep in mind, a lot of the things they want to cut out or drop or get rid of are going to affect the red states first or mostly. And that's where all the Trumplafucks are in the red states. Keep in mind, when it comes to welfare type programs, it's the red states that take in money, it's the blue states that put out money. So the blue states are basically subsidizing the red states. Now the now Donald Trump wants to send abortion back to the states. He wants to send everything back to the states. So what if our blue state said, "Fuck you, we're not sending the federal money. You guys can suffer on your own." That's not a bad idea. Cookie says you're not that old. Well, it's a matter of perspective. I'm older than I was yesterday. My granddaughter keeps telling me, "Grandpa, you're very old. I'll help you." I like the independence, though. You know, I'm old, relatively speaking. Jacqueline says, I'll be 65 next month. I don't know where to go from here. Just keep plugging, Jacqueline. People like us aren't going to feel the impact as much. We will feel the impact of what's going on. But we are out here fighting for our kids and our grandkids, and that's why the fight is important. Uh, Curtis Thomas says, don't worry, your kids dodged a bullet. That only tells me you're a Trump-a-fuck, so you fucking gone. Eric says, one of my coworkers was asking about the stimulus checks Trump sent out the first time. They didn't know why we got them. I think they're expecting another one from him. Well, keep hoping. Donald Trump is in a different position than he was in 2016. He got what he wanted from the voters. Now he doesn't need you. It's not like he's going to run again in 4 years, in spite of what people think. Now he can go in there. He's a lame duck. He can run roughshod. He can do whatever he wants. He's going to step on the toes of the Republicans or the Trumplafucks, and he's not going to give a fuck. The only people getting checks in this term are Donald Trump maybe some of his friends. But the people, there will be no checks for them. AJ Vintage says you can't compromise with bigotry and ignorance. You're absolutely right. I refuse to because I can't figure out how to do that. Do you think Trump will take away Social Security? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that is a untouchable thing. It affects too many people and it's too hard a process to do. They like to say it like they used to like to say, we're going to overturn abortion. Now they ultimately did that and they learned a lesson. See, they used to campaign and fundraise on overturning Roe v. Wade. Well, they dropped that motherfucking ball. Now they can't do that anymore and they get all kinds of heat because they did do it. Social Security is something they're going to keep talking about. There's a big process through Congress, and most all Democrats and a large portion of the Republicans won't let that happen. It would be political suicide. So don't listen to the mainstream media. Don't let them tell you or scare you like they're prone to do. Uh, they'll cut it, not take away. Yeah, there might be ways they try to cut it. But even that, I think, is going to be enough of a backlash that it's going to be a real problem for them to do that. I mean, here's the thing: they better, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. They got to do it in 2 years because in 2 years they may not hold Congress anymore. Hell, it's pretty close in the House at this point. It's almost too close in the House, maybe 2 seats. We're still waiting for some results. So, yeah, I just don't think they're going to have the strength to do it. They're going to try, they're going to talk, and eventually people will realize that it might affect them, and then they'll get scared, and then the public opinion will change. And this is what I've told folks. Some people who are Democrats think we have no power, no control, we can do nothing now, and that's not true. We have to do essentially what the Republicans did when Joe Biden was president, while Joe Biden is president: get loud, control the narrative, talk shit, make fun of them, joke with them. You have to understand the kind of people we're dealing with are bullies, and they only understand strength. And that's not been a strong point with the Democrats. So we've got to show the strength, the people, the social media. We got to be in their shit all day, every day. And it just so happens that's my favorite hobby, giving people shit, especially when they deserve it. Debbie says, I'm a late boomer too. I worry about the world that we're leaving for our young people. Yeah, that's my greatest concern. I don't really have that much concern for myself because nothing much with me can really change. I'm at the end of my life cycle. I'm not out there trying to get jobs or do anything like that. But I have two millennial sons, one that's married, has a daughter, one that's unmarried, starting off in his career, and I worry about them. And I like to make sure that when I'm finally gone, that I leave them better off than when I found this place back in 1960. Um, Cosette says, so they voted for Donald Trump expecting a check. Well, here's the thing. They expected a lot of things that Donald Trump said, but we know that Donald Trump has occasion to not follow through on his promises, like the wall at the Mexican border, Mexico paying for it. And that didn't happen. Luis Montoya says, it's the calm before the storm. We need to keep fighting for what it is, right? Medicaid, Medicare, it's kind of the same thing as the Social Security. It's going to take a lot to get something done, and I just don't think there's a taste for it with any Democrats, and probably more than half of the Republicans. So if that's the case, they'll talk about it, but the people talking about getting rid of social media isn't all Republicans, and they understand that it's political suicide if they do something like that. I've said before that Donald Trump can't get away with a lot of shit that he's doing because there's going to be pushback from the Republicans, especially in the Senate. We've already seen that. We've already seen that they wanted Rick Scott to be the leader to replace Mitch McConnell. He was third place in that vote, and they gave it to John Thune, who is a never Trumper. So, as much as Donald Trump won't be getting anything from the voters and he'll be able to step on their toes all day. Same thing for the Republicans. The Republicans needed Donald Trump to get elected to the presidency for power's sake. They needed the House and the Senate, and they barely got that. But at this point, Donald Trump is not an asset. He's a liability. There's nothing more he can do for them except embarrass them and act like a fucking goof. So I think you're going to see the Republicans pushing back a lot on Donald Trump. That's not to say that there won't be some fucked up shit happening. There probably will. But he's not going to be able to get away with a lot of the stuff he does because, as I say, it's political suicide. Eric says if they go after Social Security, the Republicans would be hurting their largest voting base. The voters would know who to blame. Absolutely. Cookie says they're like Jim Carrey in the movie Liar, Liar. The pen is blue. The pen is blue. Um, the lamestream media is screwing us. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the biggest problems we have in this country is the mainstream media. That's why I quit watching. As of November 5th, I go to Reuters and AP and some other outlets to get the news stories. Then I dig in a little deeper. But these mainstream media outlets are losing viewers by the thousands. In fact, NBC is looking to sell off or spin off or do something with MSNBC. And then I heard Elon Musk saying, well, I should buy it. Well, you should buy it, Elon. MSNBC's taken a dive into the shitter. And you know how to follow that up with what you did with Twitter. You bought it for $44 million. It's now worth $44 billion. And now it's worth $10 billion. You're quite the fucking businessman. Tall chick says, if they do and Social Security, do I get a refund for all I've paid in? Well, theoretically, that would be the case, but this is the US government. This is the Republicans. No. If they actually found a way to take away Social Security, and I don't believe that they're going to do that, that would be crazy. You're going to get fucked because that's what Republicans do. They fuck the middle income folks. Evening from Oklahoma City. Enjoy your shows and comments. Shared these same words with a neighbor earlier tonight. Still can't believe how stupid they are. Yeah, we have a regular epidemic of stupid in this country. I really thought this election would be like 75-25, 70-30 in favor of Kamala Harris. The idea that 50% of this country voted for Donald Trump after all we've seen, all we've heard, and all we know is absolutely, it defies logic. It makes no sense. That's why I was so surprised by it. But I guess my problem was I gave the people of this country too much credit, at least the half that supports Donald Trump. Carolyn says, if I wasn't living through this and witnessing it for myself, I would have a hard time believing it. Fucking absolutely. If we went back 20 years and said, this is what's going to happen, we'd laugh at you and say, it sounds like a bad fucking movie. Unfortunately, it is like a bad movie, but we're living it real time. Sadie says they're worried about one trans person in a bathroom more than legislation. Yeah, they're worried about one trans person in a bathroom more than they are having a potential attorney general sleeping with underage women. Yeah, they want that. Or sexually assaulting women, as in the case with Pete Bergseth. I've said before with the Republican Party, if you look down the list of all the names that Donald Trump has made for nominees, a large number of them have problems with sexual assault or sexual criminal charges. That's why I think the GOP should change their name to the SPP, the Sexual Predator Party, because that seems to be the thing you need to do in order to get some purchase. Eric says, with Trump appointing members of the House like he has, there is a chance that Dems retake the House, and after all, the special elections are still to be held. Yeah, that's exactly right. Donald Trump has done the absolute dumbest thing you can possibly do, and that's no surprise to anybody. He's picking appointees and he's plucking them out of the House of Representatives. He's cutting the majority of the Republicans in the House, and they're going to have these special elections. Now, presumably, they'll get more Republicans in there, but maybe not. What if we win one or two? Then it changes the whole landscape of what the House is. And it's conceivable when it's this close with all the things that typically happen in the House with 400 plus members. Uh, the Democrats could end up with a majority. It could be very interesting. Holly says, I don't care who wins. I'm 36 years old and can't work because I'm very sick. I have Crohn's. I can't get insurance because I don't work. My life is over because I can't get medical treatment. Holly, I appreciate your desperation. I appreciate your pain. There's got to be an answer for somebody in this position. A young woman, 36 years old, struggling with some medical problems, and she can't get help. What fucking kind of country is this where people, citizens of this country, can't get the help they need? That is the real problem here. And that is the problem we expressed coming up to the election. But apparently 50% of the people didn't hear that or just don't give a fuck. And that is unacceptable. Holly, I'm not sure what you would do in this situation because I'm not smart enough. But if there's anybody in the audience, if there's anybody in the audience that have some suggestions for Holly, please let her know. Because this is a young woman who certainly needs help. And unfortunately, she can't look to the government where she should be able to look for the help. So if anybody has some suggestions, Holly, I tell you what, I got a better idea. Well, if any of you have ideas, that's fine. Holly, I want you to send me an email at rationalboomer@gmail.com. Send me an email so I have that contact. There's a woman that comes on the show. She works for a big health organization. She's very active. Her name is Old Soul. You may have heard her on the show, but she is all about helping people, especially people like in your situation. Send me an email so I can get the contact. Then I'll contact Old Soul. And I don't know if there's anything she can do, but if she can't, I don't know who else we'd go to. So send me that email. I'll connect you up with Old Soul and we'll see if there's anything that can be done. Darren Johnson says Trump said he won't touch Social Security. Yeah, Donald Trump says a lot of things when he gets elected. He also said that he had no connection and had no knowledge of Project 2025. Yet a large number of the people he's putting up as nominees are with Project 2025. He's a fucking liar. That's what he is. AJ Vintage says, are you on Blue Sky, RB? Yes, I am. I am. People talk me into doing it. I really am not on Twitter or X or anything like that. But I am on Blue Sky. I've posted a few things here and there. I haven't been real active on it, but I'll try to get more active with it. Cookie says, I watch you all the time because you say it like it is. Well, I try to the best of my ability. I try to look at things, boil them down to simple terms so I can understand them, and then do what I can to explain it. Because the media isn't willing to do that. They just tell you enough to be scared, and there's more to the story that needs to be told. Steve says, hey, Mike, talk to my sister Cheryl in Hawaii, not feeling good. She said, much aloha. Well, say hi to your sister. I believe her name is Cheryl. She's written before. I may be wrong by that, but I think that's true. You guys have the same last name. Um, Global Solidarity. We Are Chorus, a new creator led collective of the most powerful online voices coming together to scale our voices, drive the conversation online, and take back the power. Yeah, that's one thing that Ed said on the Rational Boomer podcast. He was quoting somebody else, and when we're in a situation, the best thing to do is organize and speak out. That's one thing we didn't do going into the election. We didn't organize officially, and that probably is a good idea. So I second that motion. Um, let's see here. Nothing to it the way you do it, Boomer. Thanks. Thank you. Deb says you just don't want to put the blame on the billionaires who don't pay their fair share of Social Security and taxes. Yeah, for whatever reason, poor folks in red states think it's great to give wealthy people who don't need the money tax breaks. You don't want to give it to the middle class, your own people, but you're happy to give it to rich folks just so you can own a libtard. That is the definition of fucking stupid. Lewis says, I don't worry about my children and grandchildren. Stuff is going downhill in a hurry. Kamala is far better choice than the orange cloud. Kamala would have been a great president. I haven't really been excited about presidential candidates in the past, but I was really excited about her, especially the turn we would be able to take. And I feel incredibly disappointed that that opportunity will not be realized. Chopstick says incumbent party has lost in national elections and like 21 of 22 elections in developed countries recently. Yeah, and that's a red flag that people should notice. Um, as much as the Democrats were a stronger part or stronger candidates than the Republicans, people are always looking for change. So even when it's good, with the Democrats in control, they still want change. You hear a lot about the economy. You hear a lot about the economy. The stock market's up, the GDP is up, unemployment is down. Everything looks good, but who is it good for? I have two sons that are millennials. I know a lot of millennials and some Gen Zs. And here's the deal. If you have a few bucks, if you have a 401k, the economy is good. But if you're a young person who's got student loan debt that is hard to pay, you're trying to get a job, but the only job that you get is going to give you low pay, and then housing is high. To you, the economy sucks. And I'm with you on that. It does suck. So the Democrats should take note of this. You can crow about all the other reasons why the economy looks good, but until people stop struggling and suffering and just live a life, be able to have a job, make enough money to live, to get a house or even an apartment, until you do that, you're not doing the job that we sent you out here to do. So we'll see what happens. But the Democrats do have to change some things around. They need a different message. Um, AJ Vintage talks about somebody named Darren Johnson. I don't know if I've seen him, but TJ, if you see Darren Johnson, 86 that motherfucker. Desiree Jones says, I was so surprised at the level of indecency so many Americans were okay with. Like, really, you all know the shit is not okay. I agree with you, Desiree. I mean, when you see some of the things going on with the Republican Party, any decent folk would say, oh, no, that's too far. But apparently, people are ready to accept virtually anything so they can get what they want. I mean, this goes back to the cult of personality. Doesn't matter what goes on or what the leader does, they're always going to agree to it because they're in a fucking cult. And that's why it doesn't pay to argue with them. You never get through to them. Karen says big exodus from Twitter. People are going over to Blue Sky. Yeah, there's a lot of people leaving Twitter. And this is really the only thing we can do. We can take people like Matt Gaetz, expose him. Take people like Elon Musk and take his money away by way of leaving Twitter. These are the kind of actions we've got to do in order to make a point between now and 2026, the midterms. So I'm glad to see that that's happening. People are stopping watching the media. They're running away from Elon Musk. They're calling out Matt Gaetz. These are the things we need to do, and we need to do it every motherfucking day. Do you think he will ever pay for his crimes? It's a good question. I think one way he will pay for his crimes is that once he's inaugurated, the Republican Party will have nothing left to do with him because he's a liability. And I think his life is going to get decidedly hard. I think things are going to happen that he doesn't like, and he's going to yell and scream like a spoiled brat, like he does. and they aren't going to react how he's used to. And then he's going to go through some shit. They're talking about the 34 convictions and waiting to sentence till after he's no longer the president, so presumably 2029. I personally think that um, he's going to be out of there earlier than that, might be within the first 2 years. He could get impeached by his own people. Don't be surprised if that happens, if the Republicans themselves impeach this dumb motherfucker. Or the 25th Amendment. That's less likely, I think. Or Donald Trump just keels over. And some people would see that as him not being accountable, just dying of old age or brain rot or something like that. At this point, I'm just happy if Donald Trump is out of the equation because he's like an open sore on this entire society, and it never fucking heals. AJ says so many sick trolls in this chat. Well, TJ, start kicking some ass. Yeah, the trolls. I just laugh at them right now because I don't know what you want to argue about, trolls. What do you want to argue about? You won. The thing is, you can't do anything. And I got proof. Take a look at the House of Representatives. Republicans had the majority for 2 years. What did you accomplish? Fucking nothing. And any little thing that you accomplished, you need the Democrats to help you. You fuckers are incompetent, you're inept, and you're stupid. You love the fight, but you don't know how to govern. You love the fight, and then you get the opportunity to govern, and you fail. You fail every fucking time. Take a look at every Republican president since I've been born in 1960. They always crash the economy, and the Democrats always have to fix it. Aren't you embarrassed, trolls, for being as stupid and as much of a failure as you are? Crazy Rain says, same here. I'm sick. I can't work. No insurance. I've been fighting SSDI. I've been denied. I have no life. Why be here? Oh, I'm sorry. Crazy Rain. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't even know how to answer that. I feel for you. I really do. And it frustrates me that people in this country are struggling in this way. Um, Crazy Rain, I don't know if I can be much help because I'm not that smart a man. But you can email me too, and I'll talk to some people and see if anybody has any insight as to what somebody in your position would do. Send me an email at rationalboomer@gmail.com, and I'll see if I can connect you up with somebody that might be of help because there's got to be options. Blaireau said, should not have thrown Bernie out. Well, Bernie might have been an option in 2016. Frankly, if Bernie had been the candidate in 2016, he probably would have beaten Donald Trump. But Bernie's old too. He's like Joe Biden. At this stage of the game, I think Bernie needs to kind of butt out. I mean, do his job as a senator. He's got quite a record. But in terms of the presidential politics, he's really not a player anymore. He's too old. And he represents the far left, and the far left was part of the reason why Kamala lost. They were upset with what Joe Biden was doing with Israel and the Hamas war. They called him Genocide Joe. So they pouted and they protested and they didn't vote for Kamala. So Kamala doesn't win. Oh, great. You got what you wanted. But now what you've got is Donald Trump is going to let Bibi Netanyahu do whatever the fuck he wants. And now a bunch of Palestinian folks in Gaza, the ones you were trying to protect, are going to get wiped out because you voted or didn't vote for Kamala or you voted for Donald Trump. I don't feel bad for you. There's going to be blood on your hands. RC watching from Japan, active duty military here. RC, thank you for your service. It's got to be interesting being an American citizen and watching from Japan as this shit show continues. Um, I'm here. What's this about? Guadalupe Arriga. What's it about? We're talking about the state of things here in the United States with the impending inauguration of the orange dipshit dirty diaper Donnie Trump. That's what we're talking about. Gordon Roberts, personally, insults against anyone comes from the person giving their opinions are very insecure about themselves and feel empowered by insulting others. Pussies. Well, I will tell you this, Gordon. I don't usually insult people unless they're Trumplafucks. Um, and I understand your point, but I do insult Trumplafucks. I will continue to insult Trumplafucks. And I can assure you, I'm not insecure, not at all. Um, deport Elon. You know, a lot of people talk about Elon. How much power is he going to have? I'm going to tell you this about Elon. Elon's not long for this bromance with Donald Trump. He's been having arguments with Donald Trump's staff. He is a narcissist, just like Donald Trump. If you know anything about narcissists, two can't coexist in close proximity. One of them has to be the alpha dog, and the other one has to be the alpha dog's bitch. Now, Donald Trump is going to be president. Elon Musk is trying to gain purchase by being close to Donald Trump. How do you think that's going to turn out? Now, Donald Trump threw him a bone and said, you can be in charge with Vivek Ramaswamy of the Department of Government Efficiency. Well, here's the thing. That's not a real thing. That's not a real department. And Donald Trump can't become president and just make up departments. That's something Congress has to put through. So he basically gave Elon a fake job in a fake department. And what he basically has to do now, what the only thing he can do is lobby um, the Senate and the House to try to get his bidding done. The only problem with that is the people in the Senate, Republicans, and a lot of Republicans in the House don't like that motherfucker. I'll give you an example. When Mitch McConnell stepped aside and they had to find a new leader in the Senate, the majority leader, it's not going to be Mitch McConnell. They had a bunch of people up, John Cornyn, John Thune, and Rick Scott. Now, Rick Scott is a special kind of piece of shit. He is a Trumplafuck through and through. And that was Elon's choice to be the leader in the Senate. And he pushed for that and he lobbied that. And he said he's the right guy. He's the best guy. But in the end, Rick Scott came up third place, last place. The Senate didn't listen to shit that Elon Musk was talking about. And then Elon Musk came through and said, you know, look, we should make Howard Lutnick the Secretary of the Treasury. He was really hot on that. And he was pushing that. And he was lobbying for it. But guess what? Lutnick didn't become the Treasury Secretary. They put him in some lower level situation. And the last thing Elon Musk tried to do was to get Matt Gaetz to be the AG. Yeah, he was pushing for that hard. He was telling everybody how this is the right choice. This is what you got to do. And guess what? Matt Gaetz isn't going to be the AG. He got kicked out of, well, he resigned out of the House of Representatives, and he's nowhere right now. So we got Elon Musk fighting with Donald Trump's staff. He's a narcissist who's trying to push Donald Trump out of the spotlight, which never goes well when you're dealing with Donald Trump. And the job that he's been put in place for, he's been trying to do even before the inauguration, and he's failed three times. How long do you think Elon Musk is going to be around? He's a joke. He's a fool, and he's going to be gone shortly. Um, Kamala was joy, and Tim Walz was great as well. Maybe he'll run one day. Yeah, maybe he will. I don't know what he'd run for. I don't know that he's presidential material. The good news for me is, though, I live in Minnesota and he's still my governor. So I'm pretty happy with that. Liberty says, tell the woman with Crohn's to apply to Medicaid. Now, I don't know if she's already done that or not, but if she hasn't, that might be good advice. Um, Watching from a red state, Utah, glad to see so many that think like I do. Remember, there are special elections next year and midterms in 2 years. We can take it back. Yeah, we can. And I got to tell you, with what the Republicans have in store, they're going to look pretty bad and they're going to fuck with the economy and people are going to want to change. So expect that. Trump says he's going to cut power bills by half. Yeah, you know what else he said? Donald Trump said that within 24 hours after getting elected, not inaugurated, after being elected, that he would stop the Russian Ukraine war. 24 hours, he'd wrap that shit up. Well, we're at 3 weeks since the election, and nothing like that has fucking happened. Um, Miranda Watson says, "What message do you recommend the Democrats should give to people?" Well, I think the Democrats have to be stronger. We have to be louder. We have to push back. Bullies only understand strength. So the Democrats have to get strong. Every time there's a failure, every time there's a problem, we need to throw it into the narrative and say it over and over again so the message is received. This is what the Republicans did to the Democrats. We need to take a page from their little strategy book and shove it down their fucking throat. Gordon, Randy, I'm from Utah. Also, nice to have another common sense friend here. I will say this: I've been to Utah. It's a beautiful state. Um, the fact that it's a red state is troubling, but it is a beautiful state. So I envy you for being there. Renee Willett says, Boomer, you were wrong about Kamala winning. Is it possible you might be wrong about Trump? Well, Renee, there's always somebody out there. You were wrong. Well, Renee, after it was over, you might have noticed that I said, yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong. A lot of people were wrong because all the facts suggested that Kamala will win. But we missed one thing. We missed one thing, and that one thing was that the Democrats themselves would step on their own dick. Therein lies the problem. Could I be wrong? I'm an old guy sitting in my living room. Of course I could be wrong. A lot of times I'm right, though. I'm trying to look at the situations, bring it down to basic terms, look at the facts, and decide how it will go. Now, if you're mad at me because I was wrong, there's a lot of people that could be wrong. But here's the thing: there's no shame in being wrong. It doesn't hurt my feelings. All I can do is what I can do. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So um, if I'm wrong about Trump, if you think I'm wrong about Trump, what are you doing here? Why are you listening to me? Uh, let's see here. 45 doesn't look healthy at all, let alone karma showing up. No one can stop that. Yeah, that's true. That's why I'm saying, he's 78 years old. He's not healthy physically. He's not healthy mentally. I don't expect him making it through the full 4 terms. I'm not saying he's going to pass away, although that's possible at his age. He just may be incapacitated mentally or physically. And if he's enough mentally incapacitated, as I say, the Republicans might run him out of town. He's going to step down towards the end of the term so JD Vance can pardon him. Can't pardon him from state court, and that's what the 34 felonies are in. They're in New York. They're not federal crimes, and no president can pardon somebody from a state crime. Cookie said, "You said your dad was a narcissist. I understand my father was the same. Yeah, he was a narcissist. That's one of the reasons why I hated Donald Trump so much when I first saw him come into the political scene. He reminded me a lot about my dad. The only thing about my dad was smarter than Donald Trump, more articulate than Donald Trump. He was a dangerous guy. I learned a lot of lessons growing up with him as a father and not a fan. I hadn't seen him in 25 years. He ended up passing away. I helped clean up with whatever we had to clean up after it was done, but I didn't feel a twinge of sympathy or empathy at all when he passed away. He made his choices. He did what he did. He pretty much abandoned the family and everybody else. And I'm not crying about it. People always say, you can't hate your. I don't hate my dad. I don't hate my dad. He was inconsequential. He was out of my life. I'm a dad. I'm a grandpa. I don't need a fucking dad, especially one that isn't there when you need him. So he passed away, and yes, he was a narcissist, and that's how I kind of know what's going on. TJ the plumber. Eric and I are handling the trolls. That's right. Eric is a moderator too. So go out there and kick some dumb fuck's ass. Rational boomer for president. Andrew, you don't want that. I would not be a good politician because I don't listen to shit. Somebody says, don't say that. I'm definitely saying it. I'd be kind of wild card like Donald Trump, except hopefully I'd be talking about the truth and what's best for the people. Maybe that's what we need, but I'm too old. I'm tired of old white men being president. We need a change in that. And I'm sorry, I'm too old. But I bet we could find somebody that was younger that would fit the mold and probably could do it. I've got a son. He works in government. I don't know that he would ever. Well, he might be a politician someday. Um, we have a like mind, but I think he's a little put off by my boldness and my bluntness. He's a more smoother guy. He's more a less aggressive guy, but he has his mind in the right place. I would see him as a politician before I'd see me as a politician. Maybe when I was younger, I might have tried it, but I don't think I would have lasted very long. I don't listen to people. I don't like authority if they're dumber than I. I'm fine with authority if they're smarter than me and I can learn something. But if you're dumber than me and you're telling me to do something that's stupid, I don't want to fucking hear it. Um, what makes them think that they're exempt from what dreadfully coming? That's a good point. I think a lot of these Republicans, these Trumplafucks, are all about this dystopian behavior, this harsh behavior, because they honestly believe that Donald Trump and MAGA will only do it to the Democrats. I mean, it's so much a competition to them and it's so much a cult. They think that it's only going to happen to us and it's not going to happen to them. Well, they're in for a rude awakening. They're in for a rude awakening. That's not how it's going to work. Um, Merrick Garland never says a word. Yeah, Merrick Garland has been an absolute disappointment. Here's a guy that shouldn't have been the AG. And I have to admit, I was wrong there too, because I thought when he first come in, he would be a good candidate. Um, he seems to be honest. He seems to be kind of bipartisan, and I thought he would do a good job. But one of the reasons we're in this fix right now is because Merrick Garland didn't do anything. He was a joke as the attorney general. He was absolutely the worst attorney general. Well, I won't say the worst attorney general. Um, the one that Donald Trump had, the couple that he had were worse than Merrick Garland, but Merrick Garland was pretty bad. Kyle says, I think Donald Trump represents a well motivated population in America. He's an excellent motivator, good at marketing. No, he's a dumbass. See ya. Garland needs to take his sorry ass home. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Debbie says everything depends on if you live in a blue state or a red state. Blue states usually have more support system, red states not so much. Sadly, you're right. And that's why you have a federal government to balance it out. And for whatever reason, the people from the red states don't want it balanced anymore. And that's what I don't understand. They're the ones that are going to get hit the hardest. And apparently, it's going to take them getting their ass kicked before they wake the fuck up. Um, I would hate for something to happen to Trump that would put JD Vance in office. I don't know that I agree with you there. I mean, JD Vance is an idiot. He is a dangerous candidate, but he would have a different perspective going into the presidency. Uh, he'd have to figure out a way to try to get reelected. He wouldn't be quite as crazy as Donald Trump. He might try to do similar things, but he wouldn't be quite as crazy because he'd probably want to try to settle things down so the Republicans don't ruin it for themselves and actually have a chance to get reelected. Um, Donald Trump is a nightmare. He needs to go one way or another. JD Vance is a little better, but not much. But it might settle things down in this country and it won't be so crazy. I mean, one of the things that Donald Trump loves is the chaos, the noise, and all this shit. We went through it the 4 years he was in office, and we went through it during Joe Biden's 4 years. We're all tired of the shit. We're all tired of the bullshit. We'd like more business as usual in Washington, D.C. That's never going to happen with Donald Trump. We might get closer to it with J.D. Vance. Cat Sound says no reasonable person would have voted for someone who said his supporters, I don't care about you, I only want your votes. I agree with you. No reasonable person would. It's hard to imagine that 50% of this country or 48% of this country are unreasonable, but apparently That's the case. JG says, I love to insult. I love to I've never insult to take a quote from a mobster. I've never insulted anybody that didn't need insulting. There are some people. I mean, here's the thing. If we're talking about bullies who use insults, sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. I'm not going to insult somebody just for the sake of insulting them. But if they're loud and in your face and doing the insulting, sometimes you have to match the fucking energy and you have to beat them, be stronger than them. So I think sometimes insulting them and shaming them and making them look stupid and laughing at them may be the only option when we're dealing with cult members, the Trumplafucks. Green says, I think protecting our country is number one right now. Get all the illegals out. How about get the people who want to overthrow the country out? How about that? So Green and stuff sounds like a Trumplafuck. He's gone. Presidential candidates have good intentions. Don't do shtick. He means what he says. Well, he may mean what he says, but Donald Trump is always wrong. He always fucking fails. He talks a good game, but he never comes through. It's been rough for sure. I was in Japan in 2020. I was in Japan in 2026 too. Well, 2026 isn't here yet. And in South Korea during January 6th. My family isn't sure if we'll go back. We are looking for the best place for me to retire. How is the Midwest? Well, it depends on where you go in the Midwest. You know, in this last election, Wisconsin, Iowa, um, and South Dakota, North Dakota, they're all red. You don't want to go there. Minnesota is blue. I've lived here all my life. It's a great place. It's a beautiful place. Only downside to it is when you get to December through February, it's cold as a motherfucker here. I mean, you can get a ton of snow and you can get 10 below or worse temperatures. So if you can deal with that, it's a great place to live. Um, RC, and thank you for your reasonable takes. It's good to see someone who is normal. Well, there are some people out there that would suggest that I'm not normal. But I'm as normal as I know how to be. I try to be reasonable. I don't lose my temper. I try to look at the facts and then decide what that's going to bring us. As somebody else pointed out, I'm not always going to be right, and I'm not ashamed of being wrong now and again. As I've said this many times, I've been married to the same woman for 41 years. Somehow, some way, she's been able to find out me being wrong every fucking day of that time. So being wrong isn't new for me. I got a thick skin when it comes to being wrong. It's pointed out to me quite often. Um, Only 13 hard MAGA voted for Rick Scott out of 100. Yeah, that's a good point. And that tells you something. The MAGA is going to want to do a lot of things, but they don't even have the support with their own Republicans in the Senate. It's going to be a hard row hoe to get this shit done. Gordon Roberts says Minnesota, Julie Davis. I'm not sure what that means. Where is Rational Boomer from? His accent when he swears sounds familiar. I'm from Minnesota. I was born and raised in Minnesota. Grew up in South Minneapolis. Um, I don't know what the accent is when I swear, but um, I did get the best compliment I ever got being on TikTok. There was a young black man who follows me. He says, "You know what I like about you best?" I said, "What?" He says, "You swear like a brother." I don't know where that would come from. I mean, I grew up with people of all colors, all religions and stuff. And, I got many friends of all different types. Their race, their religion, their sexual orientation, none of that really fucking matters. If you're a good person, I like you. If you're a bad person, I don't fucking like you. Um, I've been trapped in Instagram comments recently. Stumbling upon this has restored my faith in the American population. Well, you got to have some faith. You got to have some hope. And there's plenty of hope out there. These people that come out and say, oh, the world's going to end, the sky is going to fall. Well, if that's how you feel, then why don't you just give up? I mean, there's always got to be a fight ahead. We've had tough times in this country before. I mean, remember, we had an actual civil war and we survived that. I grew up in the 60s, and that may have been one of the most turbulent decades in history. You think of all the shit that was going on, 4 serious assassinations, the war in Vietnam, protests and riots regarding civil rights, women's rights. It was a crazy time. I was very young at the time, so I didn't realize it was a big deal because I was born in 1960. This seemed like every other day. But as I look back, I realized they were very turbulent times, very scary times, not unlike what we're doing now. And guess what? We made it out of there. Somebody says off top, Daphne says, rational boomer off topic, but do you ever go curling? No, I've never curled in my life. I've watched some curling events, but no, I've never curled. Um, Guadalupe says, we're in a red state in small city, red Hillsboro, Texas. This is refreshing. Well, thank you. Yeah, I feel for those people that are leaning left or blue and they live in red states like Texas and Florida. I'm particularly disappointed in Florida and Texas. I thought this might be a time when they might start making some headway, see the light at the end of the tunnel, and make some improvements. And they actually went the opposite way. I feel sorry for people who are living in those states because what's in the future for those states is not good. Um, Eric says the Republicans don't have enough votes to change the Constitution. They will be having elections in 2 years, and Trump will be out January 20th, 29, if he lasts that long. But you're absolutely right, Eric. JG says we're strong. Yeah, you're right. We're fucking strong, and we're going to kick some ass. He said they're eating cats and dogs. Yeah, you would think that would have been a election killer, but apparently 50% of the country is fine with a lie. Let's see here. Continue on. Can the Republicans get rid of the filibuster? No, they don't have enough power in the Senate at this point any more than the Democrats do. And they probably don't want to do it anyway. They see the writing on the wall, they see how it always works out. The Democrats will get the power in 2 years, and then they'll need the filibuster. See, that's the problem with the filibuster. It's a fucked up rule. All it does is cause the Senate not to do anything, have a reason for not doing anything, and that works against us. But whoever is the minority in the Senate loves the filibuster. As much as the Democrats wanted to get rid of the filibuster when they were in the majority, they're going to love the filibuster now. Let's see. Even people who report on politics for a living and have correctly predicted elections for years were sure Kamala was going to win. Yeah, there is a lot more important people with more followers and smarter than I am were also wrong. I look at things in simple terms because I'm a simple guy. I have a simple mind. You break things down. Donald Trump was the worst candidate in the history of this country. Kamala Harris had more enthusiasm, was gaining more money than Donald Trump by the fucking truckload. Common sense would tell you she would win. Everybody thought that. I've talked to some other creators on this app that have way more followers than I do, and they agreed. We were wrong. And again, because we gave the Democrats too much credit. Uh, Steve Akai says, hey, a lot of us were wrong. I'm just tired of listening to people badger you, buddy. They need to get over that shit. Well, Steve, I will tell you what. Um, don't worry about my feelings getting hurt because I've often said when I started doing TikToks, I decided, how could I do this? Then I said, fuck it. I'm just going to do what I do and let the chips fall where they may. I've evolved from a lot of people. And I say this, a lot of people say this, but I mean it. I really don't care what people think of me. Honestly, I don't. Because I know some people will hate you and some people will love you and some people will like you. Um, and if I do something to get these people to act like they like me, then I'd rather know they hate me than they say they like me and just don't talk about it. You know, it's kind of like with the racism. In one part, it's good. And it's easy for me to say this because I'm an old white guy. I don't think racism has have gotten any worse or any better over my lifetime. It's always been there. For a period of time, these people hid under the rocks. Donald Trump steps up, and now all of a sudden it's okay to be racist. Uh, and for people of color, there is an advantage here. At least you know who's racist when you look at them because they're in your face about it. It's not right. It's not nice. They shouldn't have to deal with it, but at least you don't have to listen to lies and think people like you and really don't. Analytical Iowan, the Republicans could get rid of the filibuster, but they won't because they like it when they're in the minority. Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's tough to get rid of the filibuster in the Senate because people are always looking ahead. Yeah, it'd be cool if we get rid of the filibuster now, but what happens if the other group gets in power? People don't want to take that chance. As much as I'd like to see them do that. Uh, Cherise says, feeling low, but we'll do art workshops for folks. I like to sit down, strikes, and silent marches. Yeah, protesting is not a bad idea. We should do more protesting. We got to get loud and we got to get in their face. Let's laugh togetherness. Laughing's a good thing. And I think I'm going to do a lot of laughing over the next 2 years because some of the ridiculous and silly shit that the Republicans will be doing. So, yeah, I think laughing's a good idea. Frank says the media talked negatively about Joe Biden stuttering, but said nothing about Trump's incoherence. Yeah, that's the inequity in the media. That's why it doesn't make sense to watch the media. That's why I don't watch mainstream cable news anymore. And they're taking a pretty heavy hit. And that's how you make your point. You take their money away from them. And that's what's happening with mainstream media. They're either going to have to make some changes or die on the fucking vine. Carpe Diem says nobody wants America to fail. If Trump improves American lives, we will all be happy. But based on his policies and rhetoric, chances of him doing that are slim to none. Yeah, Donald Trump doesn't do anything to better anybody's lives but himself. That's just the way it is. That's the way of the narcissist. So to think he might do the right thing, that's not going to happen. Trump's kids love him because he's the bank. I don't think his kids love him at all. I think he's a means to an end. They're hanging around daddy because when they were growing up, daddy was nowhere to be found. Andrea, as a malignant narcissist, Dump will refuse to step down. It would get pretty darn ugly telling Dump to move aside. Well, after the election in 2028, assuming he's still there, if he decides not to leave, then Secret Service will be there to drag his ass out. It's not like he just gets to do a sit in and not move, and he can't be touched. If he's no longer the president, when whoever is the president is inaugurated, it isn't his choice anymore. It's the current president's. You need a young Asian woman in office. I'm for that. Honestly, I don't think it really matters what the ethnic background of anybody is. If you're smart, if you're strong, if you're articulate, and you want to do the right things, I don't care what color you are or what religion you are. It doesn't matter. Steve says, "Oh, you would be a good president. I'm sure Cheryl would agree." Well, maybe so. Um, it would be different because I'd be doing the fireside chats here in my living room where I don't have a fireplace. So, um, somebody says Andy Bashir for president 2028. He is the governor of Kentucky, and he was one of the potential candidates for vice president for Kamala. And he's a pretty sharp guy. He's a very sharp guy. He's very articulate, and he might be a presidential candidate. That's definitely a possibility. Do you think Tim Walz may run for president one day? He's a great governor, knows how to get things done. I don't know. I don't know. He's 60 right now. He'll be 64 in 2028. I don't, I mean, it's possible. I guess he could. I think he's got at least another 2 years as governor of this state. And then it depends on what he decides to do after that. I think he could be a good president. I wonder how many people will hold on or remember Tim Walz 2 years from now, 4 years from now. Um, Tim Walz would be a better president than any fucking Republican without question. And I have a lot of respect for Tim Walz. He's done a lot in Minnesota. He's done similarly to Minnesota what Joe Biden has done for this country. So I think he would be a good president. But we need to find somebody who's going to fit that role and start building and spotlighting that person now. Walls will be 68 when 2028. No, I think he'll be 64. He's 60 right now. I'm 64. I will be 68 in 2028, but he's 4 years younger than me. Do you think our savings are safe? Yeah, your savings are safe. You've got the FDIC, they're insured. Yeah, you're fine there. Republicans don't need to get rid of the filibuster. They got rid of it for judicial appointments, which are more important than Trump's cabinet nominations because the federal judges are appointed for life. Yeah, there's been some carve outs in the filibuster. So there are some things that the filibuster doesn't apply to. Frank says, but Merrick Garland is still more qualified than Matt Gaetz and Pam Bondi. Yeah, without question. And that's what I've said, you know. If Donald Trump really wants to hire somebody who's going to benefit him as AG, why not just keep Merrick Garland in there? Nobody's helped Donald Trump more than Merrick Garland at this point. Just keep that motherfucker in there. Cherie says, I'm a baby boomer, New Yorker. Know for sure this show is right on. Well, thank you, Cherise. Hello from Minneapolis to New York. Bill Barr was the worst attorney general. Yeah, I'd have to agree. He was worse than Merrick Garland. The only trouble with Merrick Garland is a Democrat put him in there and he still fucked the Democrats. Uh, well, but what happens when he gets bored or needs a whipping boy to take his frustrations out on? How about it if the worst of his followers demands that he make good on the threats? Donald Trump doesn't care. What's he got to lose? He doesn't have to get elected again in 2028. He's a lame duck right now. He can do whatever the fuck he wants until the Republicans stop him. Uh, Carpe Diem says to Daphne, you are preaching to the choir. I'm here because I always known Trump was a con man. I'm just trying to my very best to use polite verbiage when addressing Trump. Well, I tell you what, you use the polite verbiage and I'll continue to be talking the shit. Somebody's got to talk the shit and I'm happy to do it. Chopsticks JD has to live with the consequences of his action for a few decades. DJ doesn't. Yeah, DJ could be Donald J. Trump could keel over tomorrow. JD Vance, everybody thinking he'd be a likely candidate in 2028. Not if Donald Trump burns down the economy. They're not going to want to touch anybody with a similar attitude that Donald Trump had. They're going to be pissed off about the economy, and JD Vance will get a lot of the backlash from it. Jared Austin, being angry is what got Trump elected. Maybe we need to get angry now. I think that's absolutely true. We need to get angry. We should be angry. We've got people attacking our country. This is not the time to say, oh, we'll take the high road. It's a fucking war. War is ugly. War is mean. And that's what we've got to be. And I'm not talking about fighting in the streets or anything like that. What I'm talking about is verbally controlling the narrative, calling them out for everything they do, exposing the criminals for everything. You know, we've tried going through the court systems, we've tried going through the media, we've tried going through Congress, and it just doesn't work. Keep in mind, you know, I've talked about this a little bit. Everybody says, well, Donald Trump's going to do this, Donald Trump is going to do that. Think about what the Republicans did when Joe Biden was in office. All they did was try to obstruct and slow things down and shut things down. And they were actually pretty successful with it. So why wouldn't the Democrats do the same thing with what Donald Trump wants to do with filibusters and all this shit? They're going to slow everything down. Donald Trump won't get much done. He doesn't know how to run the machine, and it'll be a lot like 2016. The only thing he really accomplished was getting that tax break for the wealthy people. But other than that, you know, budgets and such, The Republicans couldn't get it passed without the help of the Democrats. They're going to be in trouble. They aren't going to get much done. They aren't going to get any more done than the Democrats allow them to. Desiree says, I've stopped talking to so many people. I was the caregiver. I'm not inviting folks over, and it will be a very long time before I cook for them. And I am a damn good cook. I bet you are, Desiree, and I don't blame you. It's one thing to argue about politics, but when you're doing damage to this country, it's hard to forgive, and it's certainly impossible to forget. Um, Matt Forcier says, I live in Minnesota. Why did governor let this place burn? You don't live in if you can say something like that, you don't live in Minnesota. We've got Republicans talking about that, this is Minneapolis is some burned out shell of what it once was. That's absolute bullshit. And if you're in Minnesota, you know that's the fucking case. You're a Trumplafuck acting like you're from Minnesota, and you're fucking gone because I don't like you. Um, those talking bad about immigrants, don't confuse your bigotry with patriotism. Yeah, there's a big difference. Um, your headphones are backwards and upside down. I only have one headphone in. It's in my right ear. It is upside down because it should be for my left ear. Here's the deal. Prior to coming on and doing this, I was using the other headphone and I didn't know how much power was left. So I used the one I wasn't using, and I don't like putting it in my left ear. So fucking hang me from a noose. Gavin says Minnesota people 100% carpe diem, normal, but no patience for ignorance. I agree with you. Your wife must be tough. Well, she's not really tough. She's not. Well, she can be. Um, why would you say that? Because you think I'm tough on her? Fuck no. No. When it comes to my wife and my granddaughter, I do whatever I'm told. The toughness is out here in dealing with people in business or dealing with politics. Now, my wife's not tough. She's a perfectly lovely woman, very calm mostly. She is a woman, so she can get in my shit sometimes, but I guess I deserve it from time to time. Do you think Kamala will run again? Well, I think she could, but I don't know. I mean, a lot's going to happen between now and 2028. Um, if we've already identified the fact that this country, 50% of this country, is racist and sexist, she may not run again. What I've heard is that Gavin Newsom may run, and then she runs for the governor of California. I could see that happening. John Nielsen says, I moved to Minnesota from New Orleans. Yeah, that had to be quite a culture shock in a good way. I mean, I like New Orleans. I love New Orleans. I love going to New Orleans. I couldn't live in New Orleans. Cookie said, how's your granddaughter? Well, my granddaughter is a fucking pistol. She's funny and she's a smartass. I'll tell you, when she was younger, I gave her, I was sarcastic to her one time and she started crying because she thought I was serious. So I sat her down. I said, honey, I'm just teasing you. I'm kidding you. This is what I do. And I explained it to her and she understood it. She understood it so well that now she does nothing but give me shit all the time. And you know what? I take it. I'm happy to take it. I'm happy to see that she has the ability to dole out some shit from time to time and that she's bold and she can kind of be in your face. I told my son, do not try to quell that. That is the trait of somebody who's going to be a leader. So let her be her. They say people who swear are frequently smarter than others. I don't know that that's true. Um, People say you think you're smarter than everybody. I don't think I'm smarter than everybody. I know I'm not smarter than everybody, but I know I'm smarter than everybody that voted for Donald Trump. So that's 50% of the country. That puts me at an average level, I guess. I'm at average or above intelligence. Obi Mom Kenobi. In my state, immigrants work all the I'm thinking golf courses and resorts that I can't afford to go to. It will be interesting to see who they will get to scrub their toilets at minimum wage. Yeah, this whole idea that he's going to deport 18 million people, I don't know how he pulls that off. It's bad optics. The Republicans are not going to like it. It's going to cost like $80 billion to do, and it's going to take forever to do. I was talking to Eric, who's out here, and he was suggesting what's more likely to happen. Donald Trump will come out, do a couple of things, and said, "I'm so smart, it's successful. We stopped them all," meaning he'd just fucking lie about it. Um, so JG says, "Do you have a Latino friend?" Yeah, I know a lot of Latino folks. In fact, one guy that's on my show all the time, Will, who's out in Georgia, is Latino. He's on the show all the time. Um, Carpe Diem says it took Republicans 4 attempts to elect a House Speaker. Don't expect them to get anything done, especially while they jockey for Trump's favorite butt sniffer. Yeah, I agree with you. Eric says it's possible that could run again. There was a poll out that says Kamala is the current front runner for Dems for 2028, though I still don't trust polls. Now, I don't trust polls. You need to debate Trump and he will lose as usual. I would love to debate Donald Trump. I would love to do the one thing that every moderator or reporter should have done in 2015. And had they done that job, he wouldn't be president now. He was such a, he was such a shit show, and he was such a a gold mine when it come to viewers. Just to watch him do and say crazy shit, people need to call him out. They need to sit in front of him and say, answer this. And when he doesn't answer it, go back to it and say, answer this, and keep bearing down on him. Ultimately, he'll step out, he'll stand up and walk out. But he needs to keep getting embarrassed. He needs to keep being pressed. The moderators and the media have just let him slide all the time, and that's fucking tiring. Donald Trump ever wants to debate me, actually, any fucking Republican wants to debate me, I guarantee you I will kick their ass because I'm talking about truth and justice and what's real, and they're talking about lies. It's not hard to beat somebody by that's basing their debate on that. Julie Davis says, "Yes, Rational Boomer, you sound black when you swear. I love it. I'm black and in Chicago." Well, thank you, Julie. It's not intentional. You know what it might be though. Maybe I came by it honestly. Uh, yeah, because I grew up with people of color and such. That's not a big deal. But for a period of time in the 80s, I worked in the music business. Big dumb white guy working in the music business. And it was when Prince was really hot in this town and he was exploding. I had a recording studio right kitty corner from First Avenue. That building's not there anymore. It's the Target Center now. But I was there, and at one point, somebody came up, and I was struggling. I was young. I was doing radio commercials and that sort of stuff. Somebody came up and said, "Hey, do you do music?" Now, I'm not musically inclined at all, but I said, "Fuck yeah, I do music." And I ended up working in the music business and getting some things accomplished. But here's the thing, this big dumb white guy was working in the music business who didn't know anything about the music business. But because it was the Prince era, I was not only working in the music business, I was working in black music business. So I was working solely with black artists. And I spent a lot of time with them. So that's maybe how I came up with that ability to sound like that. Um, plus, swearing is one thing, but when black people do it, it's cool. So I want to be cool. Jared Austin says she's the front runner because she was the last nominee. I think people should look to Andy Beshear, governor of Kentucky, a Democrat and a red state. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Daphne Farmer says, smash the like button, you all. Help out this beautiful mods. They're up to their necks in trolls. Yeah. That's something I never do. Every time you go on TikTok or YouTube, people say, hit the likes, follow. I don't do that. If you want to follow, you follow. If you want to like, you like. So I don't press for that. I appreciate anything that anybody does. Roseanne says, born in 1950, and I never saw it this bad before. Well, it depends on how you're talking about it. Like I said, the 60s were pretty rough as I remember it, but I was pretty young at the time. But this is as bad as it can be. I'll grant you that. But again, we'll always get through it. We went, as I say, through a civil war for God's sake. So, This channel is a great outlet for reasonably minded discourse. Well, thank you for that. I hope that it is. I think people hear the same old shit all the time, and we need to talk about some reasonable things. We got to talk about facts and truth and all that shit. So I appreciate that. That's the one thing. When I started this, it was going to be kind of cathartic. I was going to come out, spew my shit, and then feel better because I've gotten it off my chest. But then people started following and started agreeing, and then people started saying, "Hey, you made me feel better." It's funny because all I was trying to do is make me feel better. But the fact that I'm able to make other people feel better or comfortable or in a better mood, that's a great honor for me to be able to do that. It wasn't intentional, but I'm appreciative of being able to be of help to some people. Andrea H. Colin Allred voted for H.R. 9495 with Republicans' horrendous bill. Yeah. Colin Allred is a Democrat, and I don't think he was a great Democrat, but he was certainly better than the option, Ted, that dipshit motherfucker. Matt Forcier. Minneapolis is not what it was. It's worse. You're full of shit. That's not true. I live in Minneapolis and I travel around Minneapolis a lot. And the fact that you're trying to make some point that Minneapolis is a hellhole, that's absolute bullshit. That's stupid. And you can't tell me I'm wrong because I'm here. I see it every fucking day. I live on a lake. It's absolutely beautiful here. I'm from South Minneapolis. I can go back to the neighborhood I grew up with where that fucking rioting happened, and it's still a wonderful place. So fuck yourself. You don't know what you're talking about. Um, we're going to take this another 5 minutes or so. Now I'm going to wrap it up. I don't want to tie people up too long. Um, JG says, this isn't a surprise. I feel hopeless at times. We need a few more lifetimes. Well, we probably do have some more lifetimes, but don't feel hopeless. There's always hope. JV says, doing my best to hang on. Thanks, Boomer, for holding my hand. I'm happy to do it. What about our Social Security? Do you think it will change? No, I don't. It's going to take an act of Congress to do that. And a lot of Republicans don't have a taste for it because if you fuck with Social Security, you're fucking with everybody in this country. You fuck with everybody in this country, that is political suicide. And they're all about power. They don't want to do that. Are they going to hire teachers with Christian training to teach the students? They can't hire teachers as it is. There's a shortage for teachers. They're going to fuck up the education system if they can. Um, I was talking to somebody one time who was a Trump umper, and they were excited. I said, "You know what they're going to do, right?" He says, "They're going to do all kinds of stuff." I said, "They're going to shut down the education department. That's what they want to do." And he says, "Well, I think they should. There's a lot of waste." And I said, "You know what the education department does, don't you? They do a lot of things, but they fund all special needs courses and programs throughout the country." And he looked at me kind of weird because I knew he had a child that had special needs that was getting care. And I also knew his wife taught special needs in a school. I said, "What are you going to do if they take that away and Donald Trump does exactly what he said? And now your kid doesn't get the help he needs, and your wife loses her job. What are you going to do then?" He goes, "Oh, that won't happen." I said, "So you're telling me Donald Trump is lying?" Because he did say he was going to take away the education department. And he just looked at me. He stared at me. And he looked at me like, oh, I might have fucked up. But you can bet he went to Google and tried to check me out because he was sure I was lying. But the sad thing is when he goes to Google and he looks in it, assuming he can fucking read, he'll realize that he fucked around and found out. See, that's the thing about these people. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's just all about owning the libtards. They don't know how it's going to affect them. They think it's only going to affect the Democrats, but fuck them. It's going to affect them worse than any. JG says, I was wrong. I didn't think people would choose a pedo. Yeah, you're probably right. I didn't think so either. Uh, you would have thought that 34 felonies would be an election killer. Yeah, don't you think that should be? with reasonable folks. Apparently, we have a lot of unreasonable folks. Boomer has thick skin. Yeah, I do have thick skin. I don't really care. Uh, there, there are plenty of people after being on TikTok for 4 years talking about the shit I've talked about. I've heard it all. I've heard some horrible shit said to me, and I don't fucking care. Just- you know what I do enjoy about it when somebody says something terrible to me, I feel a little touch of joy in my heart because I know I got in their fucking head and they're angry. And the fact that they can't do anything to me makes it even fucking harder for them. So fuck them. God's Spirit's real. I like you because you have a lot of common sense, which is sorely missing in America today. Well, everybody should be able to have common sense. Unfortunately, a lot of people have an agenda. They want what they want, so they'll lie to get it. I don't really have an agenda other than having a better place for my kids and grandkids. I'm not trying to make money. I'm not trying to get a huge amount of followers. I'm lucky that I do have a lot of followers on TikTok and some here on YouTube. But that's not my goal here. My goal is to spill the facts. I'm tired of injustice. I'm tired of fucking lies. So if I can say what's really true and it gets through to a few people, well, then I feel like I've done something for the day. Hey Mike, I'm the same way. I just get fucking tired of people bitching. Yeah, I do too. Too many people wake up and looking for reasons to worry or be mad. I don't. In spite of the fact that I'm not happy about this election, I get up with a positive attitude. And yeah, you know what? My life's a lot better. My days are a lot better when I don't revolve around negativity. JG, they never honored treaties to the Native Americans or African Americans. It's all in due times. Yeah. Heather says, thank you for your refreshing discussion. Thank you for showing up. Um, Trump 2024 years in prison, not the White House. How long before Elon is put out? We all know that day is coming. Yeah, it's definitely coming. Elon isn't long for that bromance. They're going to eat each other up. Donald Trump will win because he's going to be president. Elon's going to fail again. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up for the Rational Boomer Live here. I want to thank all of you for showing up and letting me talk and asking questions and making comments, even the trolls. Thanks for showing up and giving us some numbers, but fuck y'all. Fuck you, trolls. We don't care about you. You're inconsequential. You run. The trolls won, so show us something. You talked a big game. Show us the success. Show us how everything's going to be better because we're going to sit back here and make fun of your silly asses for being idiots. All right. For all of you, rest of you folks of a reasonable mind that are all with us here, again, I thank you very much for joining us. Uh, I also want to remind you to check the Rational Boomer podcast. I have a show every night. I have a lot of guests, and all the guests are listeners. So if you're a listener of the Rational Boomer podcast, you can be a guest too. All you have to do is email me at rationalboomer.com. We set it up. You come on the show. We talk some shit for a little bit, and we do the show. Now, if you want to find the Rational Boomer podcast, you can get the audio version by going over to Spotify. Just search Rational Boomer. If you want to see the video version. I don't know why the fuck you need to do that, but a lot of people do. Get the video version. You just go right here on YouTube, put in Rational Boomer, and you'll find the Rational Boomer podcast. So thank you very much for taking the time to be with us. Things will be getting better. Have some hope because that's all we can do at this point. Have some hope and keep fighting the good fight. So have yourself a good night. We'll talk to you again soon. All right. We're off YouTube live. We went an hour and a half. There's no reason for me to belabor this. This is an extra show. So let's wrap this bitch up. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.